What is up, y'all? Snipes-n-Snarfblatts, your unauthorized place for Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Fox. As always, I am your host, Jason, and we have a lot of Fox trailers to get into. It's been like Fox week since I left y'all last. We got some pretty cool little tidbits to get in, but before we get into any of that, we're going to let it roll right now with Mouse in the Desk Lamp, as always. And what's Mouse in the Desk Lamp? Well, that's where we talk about all the things Disney and Pixar. And we've had a couple this time. One, we had the first trailer for Pixar's Onward. That's the newest flick Pixar is going to have coming out next year. It's, I wasn't really feeling this. It's more of a teaser trailer, so it's not a lot to go off of. You got Chris Pratt and Tom Holland playing gnomes, and it's kind of like a urban fantasy flick. And if you don't know what that is, it's like your fantasy genre meets normal life. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if gnomes and dragons and all that such live normal lives? And a lot of people were really feeling this teaser, but for me, it was just kind of meh. Like, and it's definitely a teaser. It don't give you anything of where they're going or any, like, nothing on what they're going on. It's just like a little spots and gag reels here and there. And that's what I think kind of got me the most, is that none of the gags really did it for me. There was this unicorn gag in the end that I thought was hilarious, but it was just, it was really quick, little throwaway moment. The unicorns eating out of the trash like they were like the raccoons of the fantasy world. Anyway, I thought that was really funny, but the rest of it, I wasn't really feeling. I mean, you had Chris Pratt doing his Thor voice. That was actually the other thing that was funny to me, and it's probably not going to be mentioned because it was Chris Pratt doing his Thor voice, and all I kept thinking was hearing Rocket in the background going, "You're doing the voice again." But anyway, Tom Holland's character is very Tom Hollandish. I mean, like I said, they've got their characters down. It seems the character placement's good. I wasn't really feeling it, and this worries me for more than just Onward. It actually really worries me because, for me, this is a look at what Pixar is without Lasseter. And it's not looking good. And I mean, to think that John Lasseter, I mean, that's a big hole to fill. And I'm not sure they filled it, they're going to have it filled right. I mean, this just, honestly, the subject matter felt more like it would be lent to Disney animation, but all together and all around, this thing gave me a real DreamWorks-y vibe. Like, it felt like it came out of DreamWorks. And the funny thing was, right after I wrote my article on it on the site, I found someone else on Facebook that said the exact same words, that it felt like a DreamWorks film. And that's not good, because DreamWorks, to me, has always just been sub-rate. Even their best is subpar when it comes to Walt Disney Animation and Pixar Animation, especially Pixar Animation, because I mean they're basically the same styles. So I was a little bit let down by it. So I mean, I don't really know where to go with this. I'm hoping when I see more, I'm going to come around a little more. But as of right now, this just isn't doing it for me. So, I mean, that's all I can really say about that trailer. It was, like I said, it was a teaser, so it's not really much to work off of anyway. But as of right now, I'm not really feeling it. So, next, we're going to move out of that, and we're going to move on to something that I have been waiting for a while. The newest Lion King trailer. If you've been watching me at all for any period of time and heard me talk about Lion King, you know that I have been waiting for one thing: talking animals. 95% of this movie is talking animals, and I just wanted to see some damn animals talk. And you know what? They finally gave it to me. Not much, but they did nonetheless. So, I mean, you get a little quip of Beyonce as Nala. I mean, it's literally one quip. It's like a kindergartner sentence worth of a line, you know what I'm saying? But it was something. I couldn't judge that much because you barely really see her mouth move to utter the small sentence she does utter. But you do get some Timon and Pumbaa. Billy Eichner is Timon and Seth Rogen is Pumbaa. You get a little bit of that, and you get to see their mouths move and whatnot. And all in all, it wasn't horrible to me. It wasn't great to me. It's come step ups from Jungle Book. I have a feeling, because I watched it about 3 times, and I have a feeling the more I watch it and the more it gets through this whole length, it's going to be a lot easier to just roll into. I think they finally found the formula to at least make it realistically seem like these animals are talking English, which is a really big feat, because if you didn't know, animals don't talk English. And if they do talk English to you, stop watching right now and go seek help, because animals do not speak English. I am sorry to break this to you. You need someone to talk to about the fact that you're hearing these voices come out of animals' mouths, though. But whole nother note, back on to Lion King. Like I said, it seems like something I could get used to. It seems like it seems a little more natural than it did in Jungle Book. And I wasn't 100% like disenfranchised with Jungle Book and the talking animals. Yeah, it was a shock, and yeah, it looked a little animated, but it wasn't like, we've come leaps since, remember Babe? We've come leaps since then. So I mean, I'm glad to see us progressed even more, and I think I've got a little more faith in this now that they've actually showed it to us, because I was really getting worried there. But now that they've came out the booth and they've showed it to us, I'm kind of to the point where, you know what, in a long range of things as this goes, I have a feeling it'll feel right by maybe a quarter way into the movie. Once I get used to it, I think it's going to be a whole lot easier to get used to than it did Jungle Book. Took me another watching with Jungle Book before I really just forgave some of it, because some of it was just a little off. And I'm thinking they fixed that here, but I'm not 100% sure, because they literally still only showed us a small iota in compared to how many words is going to be in this film. But to make up for it, we did get to see the first clash between Scar and adult Simba as they locked up. And man, it was cool. If they stretch that scene, if we get to see more than just that of some fighting lions and these animals really going at it, this is going to be one really cool movie. Just the action itself is going to be awesome. But so, like I said, I'm a little more relieved now that I've heard some talking. It's got my excitement level a little bit up from where I was on this one. I'm actually feeling it a little bit more now. I'm actually looking forward to it a little more, I guess is the best way to put it. I have an excitement level for Lion King now. And part of that also has to do with Aladdin. I thought Aladdin was great. And to me, Aladdin and everything that happens in Aladdin was so much more to pull off than what you've got with The Lion King. So to see them actually pull all of that bigger-than-life film off, I've got a lot of faith in Lion King being good now. So, I mean, I can't wait to see this. Can't wait for tickets to go on sale. I'll have them for sure, and I can't wait to be in there to see this now. My excitement level is not quite as it was for Aladdin, and definitely not where it is now that I've got out of Aladdin. But it has risen a little bit, because for a minute there, I was getting a little trepidatious going into this, because I felt like they were hiding something from us. But anyway, that's it for Mouse in the Desk Lamp today. So we're going to roll out of Mouse in the Desk Lamp, and we're going to get into the 9 Realms. And I've only got something small to deal with in the 9 Realms. I didn't talk about this on the site because, honestly, this went off my radar, and I did not even see this trailer until last night. But it was a small trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home. And the one I watched, I'm not sure if they were all this way, but the one I watched wasn't even in English. So I think this was an international trailer. And that's probably why it went over my radar, under my radar, because I don't really scour for international trailers. But this foreign trailer, it had a couple little cool quips in it. A lot of the stuff you'd already seen. But it did give us a shot of Peter Parker using Stark Tech, which is really intriguing to me on more levels than one, because it feels like we're using this Stark thing to thrust young Peter Parker halfway into where he is now in the actual comic book universe, and he's going to have all this tech to play with, because you see him basically 3D print a new suit out of some Stark tech, and you get to see him use the Stark glasses, those infamous glasses that he puts on and has all the readings of everything around him and has his little AI in it and all that. So you get to see that too. And some people are really back and forth on whether is Peter Parker going to take Stark's place now? Is he going to be the new Tony Stark because he's using Stark tech? I personally don't see it that way, but that's because I read a lot of comic books and I know how much of a tech geek Parker is now. He's got some really cool stuff ever since Superior Spider-Man and all that. And I have a feeling that this is honestly, you heard me talk a lot about how the MCU's been based in the Ultimate Universe for a long time, and little by little we're starting to see the main 626 universe, I think it's 626 universe coming in. And that's the main Marvel run of things. So you're starting to see it bleed over into the Ultimate Universe. And I think this is just a sample of how it's bleeding over. Because you're going to get a Peter Parker that's going to display his actual ingenious. And because Parker's a genius, Parker's on the same level as some of the biggest geniuses in the Marvel Universe when it comes to the actual main run of Marvel Comics. So I have a feeling the Stark tech is just going to be able to open him up into how smart Peter Parker actually becomes growing into an adult. So I actually liked seeing this. I think it was cool because I think we're doing a lot of blending here, and we're finally moving into the main run and away from the more reality-based Ultimate Universe and more into the comic-based universe, which they mirror each other. But you would, if you ever read Ultimate Comics and the regular run, you know that Ultimate Comics, when it first started at least, had a way more just real life gritty feel to it, and I feel like we're moving out of that into the comic book era now of the MCU in past this 10 years and whatever's next to come. So like I said, really excited about it from my end. So I mean, I can't wait to see more of this. Like I said, I got my tickets for Spider-Man and I cannot wait to see this movie. But that right there concludes everything for the Nine Realms. And speaking of can't wait to see a movie, let's bring up What the Fox? Because we're going to talk about something Fox related that happens tonight. I am going to see X-Men Dark Phoenix. And Dark Phoenix has been more and more on my radar since the buyout, and even more so on my radar since they've recut these previews, and there's been talk of multiple reshoots and them tying together all of these in the ending and basically cutting off the Fox universe at this. This is the last Fox X-Men. And it's really been on my radar since then, because I've been here for the 20 years of X-Men, and I've been here as a comic book fan on this roller coaster of X-Men. So I wanted to stop and talk about my actual anticipation levels for this movie. And my anticipation was maybe just mid-tier excited, and it's lowered a little bit now that the first reviews have come in. The first reviews for this movie are horrible. In fact, I was watching, I think, Campia, and he was even saying, someone he knows, the best he got so far of anyone was, well, it wasn't horrible. That is not what you want to hear about a movie, especially one that's supposed to cap off 20 years worth of everything and just really give these guys a send-off. And quick background on me and X-Men. Loved the first one. Thought the second one was even better. Hated the third one with a passion. Liked First Class for what it was, because I know it was basically the X Factor script and the Magneto script jammed together to make an amalgam of a movie to keep the X-Men franchise going so they didn't lose it. I get it, Fox. You didn't want to lose your franchise, so you mashed together what you had. Cool. It worked. It worked even better when you bled it into Days of the Future Past, because I think Days of Future Past is on X2 level. They're almost tied for probably the best, hands-down movies there are. Wolverine Origins, kind of a slip up. It has its moments that are really good, but it really screwed the pooch when trying to land the ending. In fact, that's really my major problem with that movie, is it just didn't land the ending. The second Wolverine, I forget what he's even called, the one that takes place in Japan, I dug that. That was really cool all the way through. I dug that movie. Same with Logan. Logan was great. Like I said, Days of Future Past I put on X2 levels. Logan I put on actual great standing movie level, even more so than an X-Men level, because that thing crosses genres. Apocalypse, I revisited Apocalypse a couple nights ago, and Apocalypse, it's not a great movie. It is a good movie, though. It's like the guy said, it's not horrible. Apocalypse is definitely watchable. It has some big shining moments. Yeah, it has a horrible Psylocke. Yeah, they change Apocalypse movesets to their sets of powers to just further their storyline, but whatever, I can deal with that, and it made for a decent movie. It introduced these new kids who I got really fond of just in that little bit of time. So that put me at Phoenix, really ready to watch Dark Phoenix. Now, these review levels have scared me a little bit, but I'm still going to go in with an open mind, and at this point, if I get something that's even good, I'm going to consider it kind of a win. But this is their second run at Phoenix, and they really screwed the pooch in 3. X3 is probably the only one that I can actually say I hated. I could not stand that movie. I almost can't even find anything redeemable in that movie, other than we erased it with Days of Future Past. So, I don't know. I'm a little trepidatious going in, but I'm going to reserve my feelings at the door. I'm going to go in just like I went into Apocalypse when I went into Apocalypse. Just like I went into Days of Future Past in First Class. I erased the bad taste out of my mouth when I go in. And you know what? They were decent. So if I can get decent, I'll at least feel I didn't waste my ticket. But I probably will think I should have maybe waited to buy it on Blu-ray and just watch it at home. But I'll let you know. Later tonight, I'm going to go see it, and first thing in the morning, Friday, I will let y'all know exactly what I think about it, so be waiting for that. We're going to move out of this, and we're going to move into a trailer from CinemaCon that I could not wait to see, because the people at CinemaCon was going crazy about this trailer, and now I know why. That trailer was for Ford versus Ferrari. And man, this movie seems like it has a little bit for everybody. And I think that's what was the best thing for me. Little romance, little family, little comedy here and there. Some racing to get your adrenaline junkies out. Like, it really, and true life at that. It's based on a true story. It's got a little bit of everything. And then you stack the deck with Matt Damon, Christian Bale, John Bernthal. This thing's got a cast that is out of this world, and it looks amazing. It's the story of literally what it seems like. There's nothing hiding in this name. Ford versus Ferrari. Ford wanted to go up against Ferrari. They hired Shelby to make the ever so classic Shelby and take that racing against Ferrari to show them what Ford can really do and try to say that they can put themselves up against the fastest car in the world. And you know what? This movie, I can't wait to see this movie. I know why they pushed this thing to an award season type time, because it looks like it's got award winners written all over it. Like, this looks like it could be one of the movies of the year. And I know why they were losing their minds at CinemaCon, because when I saw this trailer, I shared it with, I literally just started messaging it to everyone I knew, because you've got to see, this trailer just sets up something that if you're into racing movies, this is for you. You're into family, this is for you. True stories, this is for you. Against all odds stories, this is for you. A little bit of comedy interlaced, this looks like it's for you. Like, you want great acting, this is for you. This movie seems like it's just going to be amazing. I want to say James Mangold's the director of it. And like I said, sell me these tickets too, because I can't wait to go see this. But it blew me away. I haven't seen a trailer like this in a while that just made me think, yes, that's going to be great. And I don't mean great like it's going to be fun to watch and a fun this. That's going to be great on an actual Academy level. Like, I was blown away by this. So definitely look for that if you haven't seen it. Go find Ford versus Ferrari. If you don't want to look hard, go to my Snipes-n-Snarfblatts website. It is in What the Fox. It's probably by now it's within the fourth, at least 4 down. You know what I'm saying? So check it out. You will not be mad at yourself for checking out this trailer. You're going to want to see this movie. Like I said, I think this movie's got a little bit for everybody. So keeping with Fox, and another trailer from CinemaCon that everybody was losing their mind about, and that was Ad Astra. I don't know if they showed this at CinemaCon. I know they talked about it. They've been talking about this for years. Apparently, this thing's been in the making for a really long time. And they gave a trailer that, even though it was trailer length, it really felt like a teaser because they touched on a whole lot of stuff. It's got Brad Pitt in it. And it's one of my favorite sci-fi genre. It's realistic sci-fi. If you don't get what I mean when I say realistic sci-fi, think The Martian, think Interstellar, not your grandest like Star Wars or Star Trek type things, but something realistic that looks like it could happen in the next years or right now for that matter. Like, that's what I mean when I say realistic sci-fi. That's how this felt. And so he follows in his father's footsteps to be an astronaut, Brad Pitt does. And his father was lost while looking for extraterrestrial life. But he winds up somehow tapping into something or bringing something back or doing something. He's lost. They never find him. He never comes back. But something that he does leads to these cataclysmic events all over the world. And Brad Pitt's got to follow in his footsteps now and go back out to space and find out what exactly happens. They even showed a chase scene at one point. I have never seen a trailer that I just did not know what to expect other than everything like I have with this trailer. This little teaser, I'm expecting everything out of this movie. You got cataclysmic events. You got he could have brought something. It could be aliens. There's going to be a chase in space on rovers. Like, what? I even said this when I wrote about it in my reaction. I don't even know if I want to see any more than what I just saw. It's kind of like I blacklisted all my. I watched no trailers when it came to Interstellar. When I heard the plot for Interstellar, I was like, I don't want to see any trailers. I was too scared I'd give something away to myself. And when I watched Interstellar, I was blown away. And that's kind of how I want to be with this movie. I don't know, like, even after this trailer, I don't know what to expect. I just got a setup that has my mind racing in at least 5 different directions of what's going on in this movie, other than you have to go to space to get there. So, like I said, I am totally pumped. I'm a giant Brad Pitt fan anyway. I love anything Brad Pitt's in. We're in a time now where actors don't bring people to the theaters anymore. And there's very few that do. For me, personally, Brad Pitt's one of those actors. You cast him in something, and you've already got me curious. Not just, I want to see this. Like, period. You cast Brad Pitt in it, and you've already got me there. And that's only done me wrong once, and that was when I felt like I spent 7 years in Tibet. But other than that, I have always been impressed with this man and everything he's ever been in. So that got me anyway. But when you start getting in and just dropping all these different scenarios in my face and then showing me all these images of the hell that's about to break loose in between them, I'm in. Like, this looks amazing. And like I said, I'm kind of to the point where I just don't even want to see any more about it. Now, I'm sure they're going to show us some more, but I hope they only build on what they've already showed us and they don't give away anything else, like plot-wise. I want to think this plot's going in 30 different directions when I sit in the theater to see this. I'm actually very excited about this. But anyway, that is it for What the Fox. We got one more thing to lightly touch on when it comes to the rest of the show. So take that away and bring up the e-ticket. We're going to go into the e-ticket real quick because Disneyland put up a really cool video that I put on the site of the Smuggler's Run, the Millennium Falcon attraction at Galaxy's Edge. I've still got to wait for Hollywood Studios to get this attraction. So I'm still just living vicariously through all the things everyone shared, but no one shared a video that's this on. I always wait for these Disneyland or Disney Resort videos because, like I said, they do it best. They're going to give you a look at the ride that's not going to take away from anything. It's not going to spoil anything for you. It's going to be kind of like a teaser trailer. And they take you through everything. They take you through the queue. They take you through the mission setup. They take you into the Falcon where you're going to wait, and then in the Falcon you've got like all these different things. There's little Easter eggs everywhere. Meticulous detail as you're waiting to get into the actual attraction. So you get to just freely roam, it looks like, and look at all that. And then you get into the attraction itself. I think it says it sits 6 people. Everyone's got their own thing. But this video right here made me realize that, yes, everyone is right. You want to be the pilot or the co-pilot, because man, that looked awesome. Check it out on the site. I put it in the e-ticket spot. It is really cool. Like, check out this ride because you're literally controlling it. You have control over the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. Watching this even made me a little jealous. Like, I've told y'all on the show that I'm not really big on the attractions for Galaxy's Edge. I'm an attraction freak when it comes to Disney World. But for some reason, when it comes to Galaxy's Edge, and I know that reason, I live, breathe, love Star Wars. I just want to see the land. I want to be immersed in the land. I'm probably going to give them so much money for merchandise and food. I want to feel like I'm on that galaxy planet far, far away. You know what I'm saying? I want that. So that was the most intriguing thing to me until I saw this ride actually in action in this video. And now I'm as pumped for this attraction probably as I am to walk through the land and hear the music and the sounds and the sights and everything going crazy around me. I cannot wait for Galaxy's Edge to open in Hollywood Studios. Like, I will probably be going live as many times as possible while I'm there. So, as usual, as I always get into it, follow us on all the links I'm going to talk about here in a second. And I say here in a second because that's really it for the e-ticket. I just wanted to quickly touch on that Smuggler's Run ride. So we're going to pull out the e-ticket, and that is it for the show today. So as usual, hit us up at Snipes-n-Snarfblatts@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Tell me anything you want to see at the parks. Anything I didn't talk about you want to talk about. Anything you want to know. What are your feelings on some of this stuff that's coming out? We'll talk about that too. We'll get into it. I'll throw up some questions on the show even. And every week I throw up a new show and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. So shoot us some emails. Other than that, if you want to pay attention to this daily as it goes up, and I'm usually at least got one thing up every day, go down there in the description, subscribe, hit the bell while you're there. But down there beneath that, there's going to be some links. There's a link to Snipes-n-Snarfblatts so you can check out the site. There is also links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Facebook and Twitter. Facebook is and Twitter for that matter, but mainly Facebook because that's what I pay attention to the most, and my Instagram also bleeds over into Facebook with pictures. But get on there and follow us. If you follow us on Facebook, you will know day for day to be able to join the conversation on whatever happens as the news drops and it hits my eyes. Not to mention, I just said my Instagram bleeds into Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook because I put up all kinds of park pictures and park food reviews, drink reviews, anything I'm doing in the parks, and I am there a lot. It's there, so check it out. You want to live vicariously through me, or you want to plan your vacation eating and drinking based on how I do mine, or at least my likes and dislikes. Go down there and follow us so you can check that out. Like I said, I love talking back and forth to y'all. I love hearing y'all's comments. I learn as much from y'all as y'all learn from me. That's what this is all for. It's a conversation piece. But my ear's a little more open, and I don't have anything better to do than use all this useless knowledge to help y'all. So check it out. Go down there in the description. Follow us on all those links. Be here tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to talk about X-Men. I'm going to tell you my first thoughts on it. Later on the weekend, I'll write out a big, long review like I always do. So be ready for that. Only way to do that is to subscribe and to follow us on all those social media sites. But until then, I'm going to sign off with a quote, and 90% of the time that quote comes from Walt Disney himself. So, until I see you next time, we keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths.